prominent figure in the realm of social media influence. Your ongoing mission centers around democratizing markets for individuals from lower income groups. You have a knack for offering insightful perspectives on market trends and economic intricacies. And all of us at NISA UK and British Council India witnessed this in last year's edition of Achievers Dialogues. Through your presence in the social media sphere and your role in co-founding various companies, you enable the journey of young people and families with limited financial means to help them aspire, achieve employment opportunities through effective higher education pathways. Please, everyone, give him a huge round of applause. And can I have you join us on the stage, please?
Thank you very much, and thank you, Jyoti. Thank you all for inviting me here to speak again. And I think a year has passed very fast. And last time I was here with Saurav and Janaka to talk about this. And a new year and a new government in UK, more friendly to India, I suppose now. At least more friendly to Indian students, I'm told. Okay. So I'm told that the 2-year stay visa has been extended. It is good news. So today what I want to talk about, they wanted me to unpack the mantra for success. So let me tell you a few words which I do know about success. Let me deflate your balloon a bit. At the end of the day, when you're as old as me or 57, at the fag end of your career, you will realize that degrees don't matter. So what you studied, what degree you got, and what score you made, and how much ranks you scored, end of the day, it doesn't matter. If you look at Apple, which most of us use, Jobs dropped out of college, Bill Gates dropped out of college, our own Asim Premji dropped out of college, and Ratan Tata studied architecture. He didn't have anything to do with engineering or management. So it's not degrees that matters, but what life skills you pick up along the way when you do your degree that matters. So what are the life skills that are very important today? The most important today skill I think one should have is the ability to speak in front of people. If you are unable to speak in front of people, you are not going to go far, however talented and however skilled you are. How are you able to present yourself? And that is the most important skill that you need to have. You need to write. In my days, you had to write several letters, several comprehensions, several essays to get through. These days, in the world of fast-paced computers, not many have writing skills. We translate our WhatsApp languages into real life. That's a skill that we have sadly lost. I don't see kids using Ren and Martin anymore. Ren and Martin is one of the most important gifts that the colonial masters have left us. So, and it would be a very useful tool guide for you, more useful than any textbooks that you may have. But as most of you are planning to go abroad, English becomes a very important skill, especially even if you are going to Europe, because that would be a language which you would be more convenient than the European languages. At least you would have heard people speaking around you. So the learning of the English language is a second important skill that you do require. In fact, I tell kids when I interview them, if you can speak English very fluently and can write and read English, you can assure yourself of a 60 to 70,000 job today. Where there's so much unemployment, only the ability to read, write, and speak English will get you places. In my times, it was assumed that people had that skill if you went to a proper school. Sadly, it's not so today. The other skill which we didn't have at our time and which you need is the ability to handle a computer. You should be able to use Excel at definitely a highly skilled level, because any formula can be fed into an Excel and it will give you a number. A combination of Excel and English will take you extremely long way in your career. If you can code in Python, is something more. So Python plus Excel plus English will be valuable than any degree when you go out to the corporate world. But what are the skills that I want you to pick up when you are there in UK or continental Europe or US, wherever you want to be? Is for the first time, many of you will be staying thousands of miles away from your parents. And it would not be easy for you, though today's modern technology means that you can pick up and talk to them, for them to rush to your help or move money trans-border, though it's much more easier these days. You will have to manage on your own. The weather will be exactly opposite to what it is. It's always say 180 degrees. London is a cold and miserable place on most days, except for 3 to 4 months in a year. If you go to the north of England, it's about 10 months to 11 months in a year, and you wouldn't have been used to that kind of weather in the city of Madras. The coldest day in Madras will be the hottest day in London for you. So that is a big adjustment. More importantly, most of you would have gone on a shoestring budget with parents taking loans to send you abroad. So you will have to juggle your finances for the first time. There's no dad, mom, brother to transfer money across the road. So you have to manage your money. You will have to budget yourself. You will learn budgeting skills. You will learn jugaad, as we say it in Hindi, so that you will know how to manage money. For the first time in your life, you will do work which you would consider menial labor here. You would work in stores, which you would have never thought. You will be working as a waiter, waitress, as the gender may be, and you will be doing ushering and all kinds of jobs which you never thought you would do. You will drive a London, you cannot drive a taxi, but you need a license for that. But you will do a lot of other things which you would have never dreamt that you would do. While all you do all this, you'll have to still study. But you will understand 20 years down the line, more than the degree you got, these are the skills, the survival skills that will help you in a long way. If you can survive these 2 months, 2 years, you'll be able to survive. But if you're looking for a job, if you're looking to go there and do some degree and hopefully get a job and hang on there, let me tell you, please don't go there. Because it may look great. 2,000 pounds is not 2 lakh rupees. While they may transfer it, the cost of living and the purchasing power index will mean 2,000 rupees is as good as 30, 40,000 rupees here. So you will be in gentle poverty. And taxes are extremely high, and you cannot see a doctor for 6 weeks if you fall. And unless you are seriously sick, you're not going to get anywhere into the NHS system. It's not like a friendly uncle picking up the phone and talking to him or visiting a neighborhood doctor. I'm sure all of you will have these experiences, and these are the most important things that you will learn over the next 2, 3 years or 4 years if you see. So you should be able to do all this. And for you to do all this, you should be able to learn to accept rejection. You will have to understand that you will be rejected more times in life than be accepted. And if you want a very famous story, Warren Buffett tried in 1950 to get into Harvard, and he was rejected by Harvard Business School. The person who interviewed Buffett told him, "Boy, you don't have what it gets in to be into Harvard. Very costly mistake for Harvard. It cost billions of dollars in endowment." So Buffett, in a rush, had to apply to Columbia, which was not a famous school those days, but was in the center of New York, in the finance district, and Benjamin Graham was teaching there. So he had a lifelong relationship with Benjamin Graham, and that set the tone to his career. And so sometimes, like Buffett has taught us, some rejections are good. So Providence leads you to a better place when you don't expect this. We have limited time. I can tell you more stories like this. So the great mathematician from India, Ramanujam, wrote to nearly 10 or 12 professors till one chap, Hardy, opened it up after playing tennis and asked his friend Littlewood, "Why don't you make sense of this?" And it took Littlewood to make sense of what it was. And they finally decided either he was a very good copy guy or he was an absolute genius. So they decided to take the risk and bring him to Cambridge. So rejection You can learn. If Ramanujam and Buffett can fail, so can you. But your ability to deal with rejection. If you are fragile, you are going to go nowhere. So you have to be thick-skinned and learn to accept rejection. A very famous Indian coach who just gave up this month played for India 604 times. The name is Rahul Dravid. And out of 604 times, about 200 and odd times, he's crossed 50, which was his average. What he learned and what he says, he failed more than what he succeeded. If you go and if you're a football player of a previous, if you were following basketball from a previous generation, say Magic Johnson, he would have missed more than what he gained. So, in the life of a sportsman or in your life as a student, you will fail 70% of the time in life, and you should be willing to cop it. Because if you are a successful student, like the Dravid said, in my school I was the best player, in my university I was the best player. By the time I went to India, I found that there were about 5, 6 better than me. And there it all takes is perseverance and hanging around there and resilience. The word resilience is used very easily by everybody. Resilience is nothing but when you are pushed down and you fall down, how many times you are willing to get up. When Ghazni wanted to invade India, it took him 17 times. Mind you, he invaded Delhi 17 times before he could plunder Delhi. So, and there is, of course, for Englishmen, the story of the Bruce and the spider and how he beat the British. So, that was some time coming. So, in life, you are very young and you won't have seen failure. But by the time when you go out, you will see more failures than success. But the amount of times you succeed matter. When you succeed, you should make it count and make it count big and not try to get out as quickly as possible. Because to get in and become successful is very difficult. The most important quality when you fail and when there is rejection, which you should avoid, is being envious of the next guy. Never look at the ad. There was a famous Onida ad which said, neighbors envy and owners pride. Envy will destroy you. So don't worry about the guy who's ahead of you. Look at the guys, how many are behind you. The moment you start worrying about what the guys ahead of you are doing, what little you are doing in life will go evaporate. You guys are going to London or Scotland or somewhere in Europe where you will meet the kind of people whom you have never met. And Madras is a rather homogeneous place, even where North Indians are treated as outsiders. But you will go, you will find the entire world in your campus. You will find all kinds of people with all kind of perspectives and all kind of orientations in life. London is a far more open society than conservative Madras. So you will make good friends and friends for life, and they are great networks, and they will come with you for life. If you are smart, you will make friends of people all around the world, and who knows, he may be a prime minister of a country somewhere. So I'm sure people who went to university with Dr. Singh would have never thought 50 years later he would be Prime Minister of India. So we don't know with whom we are going in London. A lot of Africans are there who won't know the names of the countries, and they could be heads of state tomorrow, depending on which university you are going. So you will have a lot of diversity. The most important thing you should be willing to do is the ability for you to be curious. If you're not curious, you are not going to go anywhere. The modern technology and the phones and the iPads have made sure that the curiosity is lost. This library, when I was a young kid, used to be a more vibrant place. When I was about 11 or 12, I used to come here every week, though I have not visited here in many years. The amounts of books have reduced because not many of us read. Libraries are dead, not only here, everywhere. It only means that we have lost the reading habit. And because we are not reading, you are losing out. Because you live in your own world, in your own well, like a frog. You are not exposed to the world. So if you are curious, you should be hungry. Hungry for knowledge, hungry for skills, hungry for development. And look to and be ready to be foolish. If you are not ready to be foolish and you want to be right all times, and if you are going to want to win 10 out of 10, it means you are a very conservative person. We tell people, like I'm an investor, if I get all 10 stocks right, that means I miss 5 or 6. Because even the greatest man cannot get all 10 right, he can get 6 on 10. So if you are afraid of being foolish in front of people and you're not willing to admit your mistakes, you are not going to go anywhere. Finally, I want to talk about failure. When we fail, we blame others. But that's not sad. Sadly, that's not true. If you fail, you make a mistake. There are two things. Either you made a mistake or the process was right and the outcome was not bad. Outcome didn't go your way. But what you should realize is out of 100 times, it's only 5 times the process will fail. 95 times you have made a mistake. But our own chimp brain or our own ego will tell you that only 5 times I made a mistake, 95 times I did the process right. So, the most important quality I want you to take away is to say, I'm wrong. I admit I'm wrong. And if you admit you're wrong, that's the first step you can take to correct your perspective in life. If you are going to be attached to your outcome, you are not going to get anywhere in life. The world is not a fair place. You are all young. You are going to go out to the world. I want you to realize if somebody has told you it's a fair place, sorry, it is not. The world is the most unfair place. The world is a jungle where people will try to, it's a dog eat dog world. There are no niceties, there are no diplomacies. It's going to be extremely tough. So there are days when you have done your process right, you have done everything right, the outcome would not be there. If you get too much out to the too much attached to the outcome, then your process will break down. The ability to keep the process going is what will take you extremely far in life. Thank you, and I hope you have a good day.
உங்களுக்கெல்லாம் தெரியும், ரீசெண்டாக மீடியாவில் பார்த்துருப்பீங்க. ஏன்னா தமிழ்நாடு காங்கிரஸ் கமிட்டி ஊடக பிரிவு தலைவராக அப்பாயிண்ட் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. ஸோ பொலிட்டிக்கலாக என்னோட வியூஸ் என்ன அப்படின்னு நீங்கள் ட்விட்டரில் ஃபாலோ பண்ணணும்னு நினச்சிங்க, @AnandS1967 என்னை ஃபாலோ பண்ணுங்கள். என்னோட ரியல் ஒரிஜினல் ஐடி, ட்விட்டர் ஐடி ஃபார் பாலிட்டிக்ஸ் அதுதான். ஸோ பாலிட்டிக்ஸ் சம்மந்தப்பட்ட என்னோட எல்லா ஒப்பீனியன்ஸ், வியூஸ் எல்லாமே அதில் வரும். அதில் ஃபாலோ பண்ணுங்கள். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.